Good evening, Rams, and welcome to the Grapevine, your source for news, rumors, and madly reckless speculation. Reporting from InterCity. This week's minor headlines: Vendor dispute on Oak Street, 5th sector. A brawl broke out earlier today between multiple vendors competing for stall space along Oak Street in the 5th sector. Authorities intervened quickly. No serious injuries were reported. All parties were reminded that enthusiasm does not override style allocation rules. Heavy traffic in air lanes and airports. Increased traffic has been reported across both air lanes and airports as visitors continue to arrive ahead of Celebration Week. Officials urge residents to allow additional travel time, avoid unnecessary hovering, and refrain from mid-air course correction unless absolutely required. Crowding at the Hall of Statues. A large crowd became temporarily stuck at the main entrance to the Hall of Statues earlier today, resulting in limited movement and reduced ventilation within the foyer. The fire brigade was called to assist with crowd flow. Access has since returned to normal, though delays are still expected. Mirrorlake Park closed to public access. Mirrorlake Park has been closed to the general public and may now only be entered with a city-issued permit. Authorities stated the measure is intended to manage daytime access and safely accommodate the growing number of visiting merfolk and other water-adopted guests, using the area for rest and recreation during Celebration Week. Officials apologized for the inconvenience. This week, main segment. Preparation for InterCity's annual celebration have entered what organizers describe as the final rehearsal phase and what officials describe as a necessary stress test. Reenactment General Rehearsal. Organizers have confirmed that the full general rehearsal of the historical reenactment will take place later this week. The rehearsal will cover the defense of the Orb of Seals, the ceasefire negotiation, and the signing of the Interim Treaty. Citizens are advised that loud noises, dramatic shouting, and stimulated chaos are part of the rehearsal and should not be reported unless accompanied by unscheduled fire. Volunteers needed for attacking forces. Full rehearsals are now underway for the reenactment of the defense of the Orb of Seals, the ceasefire, and the signing of the Interim Treaty. Organizers reported while participation for defenders, diplomats, and ceremonial witnesses is strong, they are still seeking additional volunteers willing to portray the attacking party. Officials assure prospective volunteers that the role involves no lasting injuries, limited shouting, and a strictly symbolical defeat. To encourage participation, organizers are offering several initiatives, including priority seating at later events, food vouchers, commemorative badges, and what was described as a valuable experimental learning. Citizens who are interested in participation should contact the organizers before the end of the week. Cottage competition area preparation. Preparations are also continuing for the cottage building competition, scheduled to begin after reenactment battle and conclude at the end of the grand parade. The competition area is being established around the replica of the Orb of Seals. However, disagreements have arisen between the maintenance division and event organizers regarding the amount of space required for the cottage construction. Organizers have acknowledged that the exact dimension of the cottage remains flexible, while maintenance have requested a definition of flexible that includes measurements, safety margins, and predicted expansion estimates. Organizers responded by confirming that in the context of the contest, the building of cottages is by nature flexible and that inspiration cannot be measured in advance. Discussions are continuing. In the meantime, temporary boundary markers have been installed, removed, repositioned, and reinstalled. Residents are advised not to move them regardless of how inconvenient they appear. Public advisory. Residents are reminded that the replica will be safe, stable, and not to be climbed, leaned on, measured by intuition, or incorporated into personal building plans. Granny Dara, any comments on that?
I have seen enough celebration to know this much. If somebody says it's perfectly safe now, that's when you keep your distance.
That's right, Granny Dara. That's right. That concludes this week's updates. See you next week at the celebration. For those who can attend, we'll keep you updated. Bye.